Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is John Hamblin. And John looked into the future, and what he saw was opportunity. John saw that the population demographics in Canada and the US were shifting, so that by 2030, there will be 80 million people over the age of 65. 80 million. Now that's a big number. John figured the time was ripe to prepare for this grand shift. So he started developing products and services for older adults to participate in communities and the economy. And he founded the Halifax chapter of Aging 2.0. Aging 2.0 is an international organization, and it's focused on aging well. But right now, please help me welcome the board member from Aging 2.0, John Hamblin.
Good day. My name is John Hamblin, and this session is called Turning Silver into Gold. The 65 plus segment is the biggest opportunity for business growth, workforce expansion, and starting new businesses. At the bottom of the page, you'll see that my middle name alias is Grumpy, and that's because I tend to get a bit angry and often without much reason. I'm a consultant for Smart Tech. You'll see my email address there and a toll-free number that you can reach me at. If you have any questions at all at any point in time after the session, by all means, contact me. To start, I would like to acknowledge that I am located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq. Perhaps we should all take a moment to actually think about this as opposed to simply saying the words at the start of events or speeches. The Indigenous people are often treated poorly, and in the spirit of equity, which is a focus of this talk, we need to not only say the right words, but actually address the many ongoing issues. We need to stop and think about this. Here are some of the coming projects that I have that I'll just mention. I'm working on webinars on smart tech, telehealth in the home. I'm developing a course for home care workers on smart tech for seniors. Along with others, I'm working with AGE2 Halifax to create a living lab for exciting new projects. To keep up to date with all these exciting, in my opinion, initiatives, join our AGE2 Halifax chapter for regular newsletters and updates. To go to join, go to the website mentioned here, ag2.com/chapters/ and select Halifax. It's absolutely free. I hope that you'll get some key takeaways from this session. Equity for all is one of the key points. The 65 plus population is truly diverse with a wide variety of needs, talents, and skills that should be used and addressed. With a concerted effort, the 65 plus segment can truly help build the province into a recognized world leader in living well at all ages. The opportunities the 65 plus market present grow every day. And last but not least, gray matter matters. As this lovely t-shirt says, it's something to keep in mind. The 65 plus population has changed dramatically in the last 100 years. Ageism is rampant in our society, and we all need to change. Equity for all requires addressing the needs of those who are disadvantaged, underserved, or have chronic illness, but also the needs of all those who are healthy and well. Equity for all actually presents a huge opportunity. The world has changed, and we need to change with it. Here are a few facts that I'd like you to keep in mind as we go through this presentation. When 65 was established as the retirement age, life expectancy was 68. But if you were born today, the risk analysis people say that there's a 50% chance that you will live to 104. If you're fairly healthy and have now reached 65, they also say that you're likely to live to be 90. 25 more years on Earth. By 2040, the US and Canada will have 90 million people over 65. And by 2050, the world will have 2 billion of us old folks. And keep also in mind that 99% of seniors wish to remain in their homes or communities and live independently. COVID-19 has exacerbated the issues they face, and they don't want to leave home. And every day, there is another report saying that our aging population is going to bankrupt us. We need to change our thinking and recognize this demographic shift as an opportunity, not a tsunami that will drown us all. The 65 plus population is truly diverse with a variety of skills and needs. It is not one large group that can be categorized as old. It is the biggest single group and most powerful segment of the economy. We represent, according to a very recent AARP analysis, an $8 trillion market in the US and Canada, which will reach 16 trillion by 2030. That would make this group the fourth biggest economy in the world behind Russia, the US, and China. Implementing an equity for all strategy by providing for the specific needs of all of us is both a social imperative and a business opportunity. It is time to address the tremendous value we represent and build an economy that addresses our needs. As soon as we wake up and realize that longer lives afford us the unprecedented chance to redesign all of life, we can begin to write a life script for lives that last a century. One thing for sure, it won't be a story about old age, it will be a story about long life. This was recently spoken by the director of the Stanford Center on Longevity. Equity for all 65 plus should be a goal, and this will impact all of us as we will ultimately join this segment if we are not already there. Equity is one of the key words in everything that I say today. It's about giving each what they need to succeed: access to opportunity, networks, resources, and support based on where they are and where they want to go. Equity is aimed at ensuring that each of us reach our full potential. It is quite different from equality, where each of us receives exactly the same treatment. There's a little video that I note there, which gives a great description of the difference between equity and equality, but I think you should all catch on. As an example, equality is giving each person over 75 a $500 payment. Equity is giving those who really need it much more than that, and those who don't, nothing. The various segments of the 65 plus population have hugely different needs, abilities, and desires, and we must build a society where the needs of all people are addressed so that all can live life to their fullest. I'm just dividing the population into a few segments here. There are those who are interested in continuing to work or starting a business. There are those who need to work due to insufficient income. There are those who are happily retired and enjoying it. There are those living at home with severe health issues and frailty. And there are those living in long-term care facilities. And I would like to point out that that represents 5% of the people. Each segment represents different needs and opportunities. We need to address them all. However, ageism is rampant in our society. The recently released economic forecast for our region, as an example, states that due to the fact that 30% of our population will be over 65 by 2040, we face dire consequences. We will need 16,000 more places in long-term care facilities. No, we won't, if we change the way we give care and implement home care. Health spending will increase by almost 30%. In Nova Scotia, this would be another $1.5 billion. We can't afford it. We don't need to do it. What we need to do is change how we handle health. It says we will have 30,000 less people in the workforce. Not if we employ the ones above 65 who wish to work, who are currently ignored. There was no recognition anywhere in the report that seniors control much of the economy and represent a valuable asset that could actually address these needs, not exacerbate them. Just another example. The government of Nova Scotia abolished mandatory retirement age at 65 a few years ago, but it has an employment equity policy for physicians with the government that says we welcome applications from Indigenous people, African Nova Scotians, and other racially visible persons, persons with disabilities, and women in occupations or positions where they are underrepresented. There's no mention at all that those 65 and plus who wish to work are underrepresented in the workforce, and no encouragement for them to apply. We need to do a much better job to encourage participation in the workforce by those over 65 who wish to continue working. Continuing in the area of ageism, within the workforce and within companies and in general, those who are over the age of 65 are already ignored and not followed in any way. This recent Stanford study points out quite clearly that keeping older people in the workforce longer is not something that companies in general are trying to do. We need to publicize the value and need to have those 65 who wish to continue working included in the workforce. We're not stealing jobs from younger workers. There aren't enough jobs. And there's a much more need, and it's going to continue to grow as our birth rates are going down and the number of seniors increases dramatically. Words are important to me. The definition of retire, and I know this was used in other sessions and pre-retire, a cute word, but what it means in the definitions in the dictionary that I read is to leave one's job and cease to work. Many 65 plus do not want to retire. They want or need to continue to produce and contribute. Senior, ancient, elderly, older person, senescent are always portrayed as frail people hunched over with a cane or in a wheelchair. How about wisdom worker, experienced worker, and portraying us as people who want to continue working and contribute to build an economy? Segments 1 and 2, which I grouped together at the beginning, those who want to continue to work, there are a variety of options to allow them to do so. They can continue in their current job. They can find a new and rejuvenating full-time job. They can work remotely from home. This is a huge new opportunity. They can work share, one full-time job share with another person. Or they can get project-based work and contract work using their vast experience. The previous speaker, Kevin from Boomers Plus, pointed out a lot of these features and how they use them. Or they can start a new rewarding business alone or with others. Those 65 plus make exceptional employees. They're dedicated workers, they're punctual, reliable, and certainly not prone to changing jobs as some of the younger generations are. They're experienced and a great example for younger workers. I don't know if you've watched the movie The Intern, but Robert De Niro sure shows a lot of young people the value and expertise which can be provided by older folks. They take great pride in a job well done. Incorporating employees 65 plus in any organization makes it more effective, as does adding diversity of every type. There's an issue of a website there that I'll be glad to forward to anybody who wants it, and I have my contact information at the end, but it really stresses the huge value of multi-generational workforces, including seniors. Many 65 plus want or need to work longer, and there is a real need for them in the workforce. Again, jobs are much less physical now. Work from home is a reality. Those 65 plus have knowledge and expertise we can benefit from. Many need to work. 35% of those who collect old age security also collect the GIS, and many need more income just to survive. As well, more and more pension plans are RRSP based, and they weren't designed to provide enough income for 25 plus years of retirement. Outliving our resources is a new catchphrase. It's a key issue, and working longer makes sense. Those 65 plus have a lot to offer, but they need equal treatment in the hiring process.
I'm going to use myself as a simple example. I'm a smart tech consultant with a background in consulting and strategic planning, a member of the AGE2 National Future of Aging Industry Advisory Committee, a member of the International AGE2 Crossing the Digital Divide team, which just produced a detailed report on smart tech and which is available on the AGE2.com website. I have a wealth of small and large project management experience. I am a former president and CEO of a mid-sized technology company, but zero positive responses from any job application that I've made. The typical response letter says other candidates are better qualified, or even less exciting, you are overqualified. Really? How about interviewing me and seeing if I'm interested? But we can change the narrative. If we truly integrate 65+ workers into the workforce, we solve part of the labor shortage, increase productivity, and build our economy. Eliminating age discrimination is a win-win-win for those 65+, the organizations that hire them, and the economy. Here are a few ideas and opportunities to turn silver into gold. Now, Kevin went through the Boomers Plus in a previous presentation, covered it really well. They were founded by seniors in Nova Scotia, and they're now expanding nationally. They match experienced workers to companies that need contract seasonal people, as well as advisors. And just a little plug for AGE2 and Boomers Plus. We're partnering in an AGE2 Halifax senior advisory committee that provides advisors to assist seniors-led businesses and not-for-profit organizations in addressing their current business challenges and new challenges that came as a result of COVID-19. The program is absolutely free, thanks to the Department of Seniors, and you can get more information on the Boomers Plus website. Encouraging those 65 to start a business is another option. They have a wealth of business experience. They have great networks that they can call on. They have business ideas that they want to develop. They understand cash flow and the need to manage expenses. Research has shown in countries that track these things that a business started by someone 65+ is 3 times as likely to succeed as one started by someone under 30. All they need is support and assistance to get going. Funding and support for those 65+ who wish to start a business. While there are many programs for funding and grants for students and young entrepreneurs, as well as accelerators, incubators, and many other types of support, there are now funds established for virtually every underserved segment of our population: Indigenous people, Black businesses, women, immigrants, and more. All of these initiatives are truly important and really required to provide a level of equity which is much needed. We need to also provide plans that are geared to those over 65. There are 0 programs for those over 65. This needs to be changed. Those 65+ have a true understanding of the needs of what is important and would provide great value as part of any intergenerational startup. Whether alone or with younger co-founders, the 65+ entrepreneurs truly represent a great opportunity to grow our economy. The market for products and services geared to health and seniors is growing faster than any other segment. Don't let us miss the boat. Use seniors the way they should be used to help develop this market and businesses. Looking back at the size of the opportunity, this is from the AARP 2019 study. Spending by people 50+ amounted to 7.6 trillion and will go up to 27.5 trillion by 2050. There's huge markets out there for all aspects of businesses designed for seniors. I will talk just slightly about AGE2 and the organization that I have founded and that I'm now a member of the board with. The current ambassador for the chapter is Ed Leach, who used to run the Norman Newman Center at Dalhousie and is an expert in startups and business in general. AGE2 is geared to accelerate innovation globally in aging and longevity to improve the quality of life of people of all ages. There are more than 125 chapters worldwide. And they've also created the Collective, which is a corporate innovation network to which I belong and which just produced the report, which I alluded to earlier, about technology and seniors. AGE2 Halifax is looking to incorporate those 65 plus in addressing this opportunity. Part of a worldwide organization with more than 125 chapters, Halifax is an independent, incorporated, not-for-profit chapter. We are looking to build new, exciting businesses based on the knowledge, expertise, and experience of diverse 65 plus Nova Scotians. The AGE2 Halifax mission is quite simple. It's to help build Atlantic Canada into an age-friendly community where all seniors, irrespective of race, economic level, health, or geographic location, can thrive, flourish, and enjoy living their lives to the fullest. AGE2 Halifax plan to support startups and integrate those 65 and plus. We're looking to create a living lab with those 65 plus directly involved in all aspects of every project, from the ideation, startup phase, to design, to testing, to commercialization. We're looking to build the lab around partnerships with university and colleges, senior service providers, government, and industry. We're going to design products and services geared to truly address the needs of various segments of health, the health and aging markets. We're looking to include diverse seniors from the start of each project, reflecting our firm belief, nothing about us without us. The potential impact of this living lab will be economic and social impact and core principles. I'm looking at the economic side mostly right now. It addresses the social determinants of health. It will reduce health costs. It will create new companies and employment, and develops products, services, and policies that speak to real needs, because seniors will be involved in defining the needs in the first place. Some of the areas that we're looking at addressing in this, and others should look at addressing if they're looking to enter this market with a startup: digital solutions transforming the delivery of care, age tech in the home, fight loneliness and improve life, home design enhancements for healthy aging, systems to improve digital communication, safety, information access, and entertainment, and systems to proactively improve overall health and allow us all to live better. We're starting an initial project to, as I would say, test the waters. What we're looking to do in the very short term is recruit 20 to 25 very diverse, independent living seniors, rich, poor, doesn't matter. We're looking to get views of everyone, races, and age, economic strata. We're going to evaluate their unique environments and customize a solution for each of them. We'll provide them with a wide variety of low-cost smart devices and equipment aimed at enhancing safety, security, and communications. We'll evaluate the real-world results and hopefully develop a best practice plan for addressing the needs of seniors to assist them aging well wherever. There are key segments that need action right now, and I'm just going to talk about one which has come to the fore of late. Those who are frail and suffer from chronic illnesses, and all those living alone, as well as those in long-term care facilities, have suffered dramatically from loneliness and isolation as a result of the pandemic. This has become the greatest threat to healthy aging. The impact of loneliness: 29% increase in the risk of coronary disease, 32% increase in the risk of a stroke, 64% increase in the risk of dementia. In long-term care facilities, a study that just came out showed that more than 3 times as many report always feeling lonely during the pandemic. All of this comes from a recent survey by the American Psychological Association. What do we have to do? We have to take action now. We need to provide all with technology that allows them to easily communicate with friends, family, and community members. We need to build community-based systems to ensure that all are contacted regularly. We need to provide them with a means to identify their special needs and have these needs addressed. Systems to address these issues are needed now, as these issues were present long before the pandemic and will persist persist after it's finally over. I will say that using technology and equipment as we plan to do does not replace a big hug and a live one-on-one conversation. And certainly whatever technology is built and whatever systems are built should allow for this when the opportunity is presented. I have mentioned this before, but I need to go back to it because it's one of the key equity issues. As a country and province, we say we are pro-diversity and want to service all people equally, but seniors are not all equal. 205,000 Nova Scotians get old age security, but 71,000 of them also receive the guaranteed income supplement. To get this, their maximum income is $18,648. They need help. Many people cannot afford the technology needed to even access the internet, let alone purchase their own smart tech devices. Help is needed. Internet costs and basic devices should be subsidized for all seniors who cannot afford to pay. They need to be able to communicate with others, get information, and even look for potential jobs. This is no longer a thing that only rich people should be able to have. Access to the internet is key for all. Governments need to recognize the need and value of seniors staying at home and must subsidize where necessary. Communities need to build networks for seniors to support by getting colleges and universities and tech-savvy community members involved in training and providing access. All seniors given the choice wish to remain independent in their communities, and we need to work together to make this happen. Canada is a great country built on diversity, and we need equity for seniors. The key takeaways from this presentation, I hope you got, are equity for all. The 65 plus population is truly diverse with a wide variety of needs, talents, and skills. With a concerted effort, the 65 plus segment can truly help build the province into a recognized world leader in living well at all ages. And as I often say, and you have to stop and think about it, gray matter matters. If you need more information, would like any of the links that I mentioned or anything else, please contact John Grumpy Hamblin. I hope I wasn't too grumpy today, but that is the nickname assigned to me by my grandchildren. My email is below, and I happen to have a toll-free number. So wherever you are, you can reach me at no cost to yourself. And I thank you very much for this opportunity, and we'll answer any questions.
Thank you very much, John. Boy, that was a lot of information. And you know what I love best? And I think I'm going to get a t-shirt made. Nothing about us without us. Oh no, the other one. Oh,
yeah, I've got my t-shirt, which is the gray matter matters.
Perfect.
But they both fit well together. I heard the gray matter originally came from Jerry Pond, who was probably the biggest investor and supporter of startups certainly in Atlantic Canada, and happens to be even older than I am. And he did that, actually, it was at the Silver Economy Summit 4 years ago that he said those magic words, and then I had the shirts made up. And I got the Nothing About Us Without Us from Olive, who is one of my most favorite people in the world.
Olive is wonderful. I think, you know what? I think we need to have a shirt, Nothing About Us Without Us on the front or on the back, and gray matter on the other side, you know, so we get all bases covered. But I'm going to go to the questions now. We have a question from Ina, is wondering about your thoughts on the rural-urban divide facing seniors and their access to healthcare, housing, and social activity. You touched a little bit about that. Maybe you can expand, please.
Wow, that's a pretty big topic.
Yes.
There is no question when I'm talking about equity, there's also the rural versus city share of equity. I know seniors who reside in rural areas that get in their car and go for 3 hours to get to an appointment for a doctor. It's I think there are huge possibilities for telehealth and virtual care to assist in those ways. And I think as well that the government is making a sustained effort to provide all rural people with Wi-Fi and broadband access. I think, nothing replaces, as I said a few minutes ago, getting a hug and having a live conversation. But I think there's a myriad of things we can do to provide better telehealth and health options to people who live in rural areas. Yeah, there's been a huge change in the way people work with the pandemic, and people want to work remotely, and there's more opportunities. The big companies in tech, Amazon, Google, Shopify, you name it, are now much more in favor of remote workers. And a lot of people would rather now work from remote areas and rural areas. Why not? If you can live in a beautiful place by the ocean, do so. So I think there's going to be an impetus for more jobs in rural communities and hopefully for building the economy. But the health side is key, and we really need to innovate.
Didn't we at one point, John, wasn't there a telehealth initiative where, you can connect doctors in rural Nova Scotia with, the Halifax QE2?
Well, I guess, yes, they're having a number of initiatives. And elsewhere in the world, there are, if we're looking for innovations in Nova Scotia and new projects, as I was talking about earlier, this is an area which we really can concentrate on.
This is such an amazing initiative that you're part of, and it is really important. So, how and where do we begin to change the perception? You were talking about it earlier in your presentation. How do we begin and where do we begin to change this perception of older adults that is currently popular?
Well, I think it's something that all of us who are interested in those 65 plus, and all of us should be, since most of us will eventually be there, have to really publicly get out there and explain that seniors are every possible type and every possible quality, from very well knowledgeable in technology to as businesses, as governments, and as individuals, to appreciate seniors and accept them as being a truly viable part of the economy. The fact that we're going to be by far the largest part of the economy makes this pretty important.
Yeah, sometimes, I want to throttle younger adults and say, you know what, you're going to be here too, just like the rest of us. I have some more questions. This is one from Amy Foreman, and she says, she's asking, how do you define the silver economy in the simplest of terms?
The fact is that the silver economy presents opportunities both for participation by silver-haired people like myself, or I guess mine's closer to white, but it also provides opportunities for services for seniors in the home, in long-term care facilities, and a whole raft of other areas. Things like, there's companies in the States, one is working on building tours around the world for people who have mobility issues. So in each port, they're met by wheelchairs or whatever else they need, and they're it allows them to participate where they couldn't otherwise. There are opportunities for at least 5,000 new businesses to address the needs of the silver economy. Wow. And a lot of them should be here in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. So I have a question from Peter Zimmer. More humane, i.e. user-friendly tech versus high-tech leading edge want the latest gadget for the 20 to 40 somethings. I'm not quite sure I understand the meaning of that question. More humane, user-friendly tech versus high-tech leading edge, I think, want the very latest gadget for the 20 to 40 somethings. So does that inhibit, I think what Peter's saying, is that going too fast so that other people are not getting onto the high-tech bandwagon?
I think the key for seniors getting on the tech bandwagon is to keep it simple. Not that I'm saying I know seniors who can program, design databases and the like, but the fact is that more will use them if they're truly simple. And so putting a high cost device, and I won't use any names, but a lot of them are made by Apple, in the home of a senior that's also fairly complex is not a great idea. And as part of our pilot, what we're going to be testing are low cost, easy to use devices. Behind me, I have an Echo Show, which is entirely voice controlled, will allow me to get information from the internet, do a Zoom call, etc., and requires not a great deal of training and not much skill to use. Yeah, I mean, the idea is to try to keep things inexpensive and easy to use.
Yeah. And I think it'll come to that because, as you said, there are so many of us, and we will impact the economy in that way that we will want things the way we want them. As you said, nothing about us without us. I have one more comment. This is a great comment from Debbie Adams. Hi, Debbie. Seniors have so much fantastic information, and so do Gen Xers and others. Let's develop a robust two-way mentorship program. Win-win. No more us and them. That's a good.
Yeah, I agree completely with all of that. In a project that I did for seniors, I had some incredibly brilliant high school students working with seniors. One of the things we're looking at with this intergenerational approach to the Living Lab is to actually have the equivalent of matching presentations, virtual first, but in person when they're allowed, where seniors would present their ideas and younger people who are much more cognizant of social media and online stores and all of those neat technologies could decide, hey, this is a good idea, and work together. Intergenerational startups are by far the most successful of all types that are out there.
Exactly. Well, John, I want to thank you so much for all your input.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.